Yo, my annual upload, guys. Oh my god. Yeah, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm just going to be yipping and yapping, as my recent videos have been. Um, the nicest part is that I don't get any views, so it's kind of just like journaling. But if I do get a view, that's cool. But yeah, I'm kind of just in a yipping and yapping mood. It's actually been really nice to have these videos, more like a journal instead of content, but I always love discussing things with people. That's why I post these videos in general. I could just talk to myself like a crackhead, but it's nice to have the option to discuss with someone if someone does see this video. So that's really what I'm doing. But yeah, today's another yipping and yapping session. Um, while I just run around and just do stuff and listen to music on this game. Um, so yeah, that's really what's going on. And yeah, I wanted to talk about. I feel like I've had this discussion often, but I don't know. It's the easiest one to yap about, and it's always an issue. Well, not an issue. It's always a prevalent topic, a relevant topic. So friends, am I right? Yeah, hold on. So I want to first talk like my life is in a really good spot right now. I haven't been this happy in a while. And it's a weird word. I am happy, but I've also realized I have anger issues. So like I'm like constantly mad at random things. So, one day I'll get that sorted out, right? But yeah, like all in all, this is probably the happiest I've been in years, honestly. Like I've been so miserable for so long, and this is the first time I felt like I've actually like I don't know, not felt like shit. Like very often I've just felt horrible with what's going on in my life, all my relationships. Not like dating relationships, just in general, like every bond, like my family, my friends, some of them actual romantic relationships, but it just bonds with people in general have been not good, and then my life in general has been not good, and then all these bad things. Not to get too parasocial, but again, we're not getting into the details of everything. But and I'm getting jumped. But yeah, I won't get into the weeds of every single problem and woe in my life. But it's to put it simply and plainly, I've just not have a good time with my life. But this is the first time I have, and it's really exciting. Um, And yet, there's still like the one problem I have when it comes to relationships with people. And I can't I can't tell why I feel so weird about it. Or like trying to identify the issue as an overthinker is so difficult. um so there's multiple ways to go about it. And very often, it's the simplest solution. It's what's been happening, and I'm going to explain my thought process. And it's almost like a "Am I the asshole?" situation. How did I break the like? Hold on. That's, and I spawn on top of enemies. Okay, guys. Uh, but I just lost my train of thought because these guys, TSPMO guys. Um, there's still one life, please. Okay, as I was saying, um, what is going on? Dude, I'm so confused. Please get out of my face. Um, what the fuck was that? Go. This is why this is a yipping yapping session, because now I don't even know what I'm yipping and yapping about. Um, but Where the fuck am I? Oh, right. Okay, so when it comes to relationships, to me, I think it's just I need to find new people. Um, and I think school is one of those places where you really just, like, find people that you'll stick with for a good time, but then there's other people, and you kind of find your boundaries and you figure out who will be a long-time friend, who won't be, and you can't really force anything to happen no matter how you act and what you do. And I think that's a really important lesson that I've learned. And I've had the privilege to even think about it and care. Um, this is the cheeriest music to this Yap session. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I think my issue now is after all my thinking, I can't tell if I should be doing anything about it or I should be doing something about it, right? So I'll explain the situation. I won't name drop, obviously. Luckily, I'm pretty sure they don't watch my videos. I've never told them I make videos, so I'm probably fine. um, but yeah, I have this friend that we don't ever talk. Ever. And I still consider them a really good friend, and I'm concerned they don't see me the same way at all. And I can't tell if that's just my trust issues talking or what, but I don't know. I feel like it's such a one-sided friendship. And I don't know, it just my biggest fear is that like I just think so differently from other people that things I believe are true are not true. That's one of my top 10 biggest fears. I wonder if there's a word for that. Vsauce are probably no. But yeah, it's the reason I say that is we met what 8th grade, and I've graduated. So it's been 4 odd years since I've known this person. In the first couple years of our friendship, we talked literally every day for like hours. If we missed a day, we talked even more the next day because there's more to talk about. And it didn't matter what it was, we would literally talk about the stupidest things to bread and which bread is better to the fucking reproductive system of a car from like the movie Cars. You know, it's like there wasn't a limit to how dumb the conversations could be. And I think that's what I love the most about our conversations, but now that hasn't happened anymore. And what's really funny is I know the exact reason why, and my overthinking brain can't decide whether or not it's them just not wanting to talk to me in specific or being just a general. And the empathetic person in me wants to say yes, it's for everyone and not just like this is special treatment for me. Um, but I can't help but think it anyways. Like their situation is they do not like to talk to people. Period. Like they'd rather do anything else but talk to people. And I don't know, it's weird because it's like if that's true, why did we ever talk in the first place? And then why would I constantly see you talking to other people and having a significantly better time than with me? Right? And it's like I've tackled that question before in this exact scenario before, and I did come to the conclusion that like it is true. They just sometimes they will talk to people, but most often than not, they will not want to talk to someone. Right? And it's like sometimes you gotta keep it as simple as that, just for your own fucking mental health, so you don't geek the fuck out. Um, so yeah, all in all, that was it, right? and I thought that was the end of it. But now it's back in full swing now that I've graduated. And it's like, well, that means we'll never talk again. Because I never want to bother someone. I hate inconveniencing people. I'm not a people pleaser. I try my best not to be. But, like, I just don't want to annoy people. It's often, and I think it's an issue of myself, that I don't ever message first. I talk so much that I genuinely think people dislike it. And I've seen it. There are people that just do not like when I talk. Like, it is very clear. This is one thing I will boast about myself is I'm pretty good at reading people. And I can tell when someone's really, like, either uncomfortable or they just don't care about this conversation at all. And they didn't care to listen. You know? Um, so that's a really big turnoff. And I just won't talk to them. You know? Or, well, yeah, I just won't talk to them because either they're bothered, or they're uncomfortable, or they don't care to be there or even listen. You know, because there's some people I know that like they don't mind when I yap, and they're just there to just exist and talk, and that's all good and fun. I'm always alright with that, because I do the same for them. I am very prone to just sit there and listen to someone yip and yap about something random, whether it be cooking, Yu-Gi-Oh, fucking monsters, they hear me out. I don't really care what it is. I don't mind listening. But I don't know. People don't seem to do the same for me. At least a lot of people. There's only a couple really good friends that just will sit there and let me yip and yap like this. Um, and I don't know. I felt really disconnected after high school, and I think it's from like purely my brain. This is what I think is going on. Is I'm weeding out the friendships that will not last unless I force it to last. And I don't want any of those. Because the friendships I have right now that are lasting, I don't have to force. And I think there's a difference between putting in effort and forcing a friendship or relationship of any sort. Um, and yeah, that's where I'm at currently, and it's a weird thing, and I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if I'm tweaking out, and I'm yipping and yapping for nothing. But yeah, it's a weird thing, and I always wonder if it's me being the problem. I love knowing the problem and knowing what I actually should be thinking about instead of anything else and what I should be reflecting on. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I feel like I've hit the nail on the head, but that's almost always never true. Well, okay, hold on. I usually hit the nail on the head when it comes to emotional stuff and like people, but it's never certain because I'm not always right. I'm often right a lot of the time. I'll say that much. You know, when it comes to people, I'm often right, which that is one thing I will pride myself on and why I do service work. It's nice. I like that is if I was to pride myself on anything, it is reading people and understanding people's emotions, which I am very, I don't know, glad about that I have this certain skill. Um, I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking therapist, right? I'm not gonna say I'm a professional, but just day to day and like with people in general, I'm often pretty good. And I don't know, it's come to the point where I don't really know what I should be doing, because the simple solution, right, would be, hey, talk to this person and talk it through, but I have. And that's the conclusion I got to. The conclusion I got to is they don't like talking to people. they'd rather do literally anything else. And my thought process is they've changed over the years, and that's fine. People change. Or they were putting on a mask for all those years. Excuse me. Um, which makes things, I don't know. It's weird to think, because how deep do I want to delve into this with this person? Do I really want to ask such an uncomfortable question like, hey, when we first started talking for 2 years straight, for hours a day, like we would literally probably have like a 600 day streak. We would rarely miss a day. Uh, and it makes me wonder, was that all fake? I wouldn't ask that to a person because they wouldn't give me an honest answer. Almost no one would. But like, was that all fake? Because what you've told me today about this not liking to talk to people, not messaging someone unless it's out of necessity, and not talking to someone unless it's out of necessity, like, was literally our entire friendship built on you people pleasing and talking because I talked. And then when we stopped talking, it's because I wanted to not bother you. But then that not bothering turned into months of not talking. And then leading into a more serious conversation about why we're not talking, which led to my answer that you gave me of not wanting to talk to people, right? It's a chain of events that really, I don't know, concerns me, right? Because this is a chunk of my life. It's around 1/5 of my life I've spent with this person. And I've enjoyed all of our interactions. It's, I don't know, it's a weird thing to think. And I can't tell. I really can't. Can't tell if I'm doing something wrong. Is it me that's not putting that much effort? Or am I crazy to think that I should be putting in effort, It's because I think any friendship, to me, this is like the gold standard is neither of you have to talk for months to still be friends. Because, life gets busy, right? Like, there's things happening, people have their preferences. But, like, I don't know. Some feels different. Because, I have another friend that I talk to pretty often. Almost every day, I'll hit them up and talk. And that's because I know they want to talk to me. Because they will message me first. And I've known this person since kindergarten. They are literally the closest thing I have to a brother that is not a blood brother. And, I care about that person a lot. And they care about me. And we've reached a really stable part of a friendship that I know will never end. The only way it would end is like if something catastrophic happened, like they fucking killed my dog. It's like we've gone to that level where it's just become routine that we are just being chilling and we talk whenever we want to. And I'll bring up something random, and I can do that every single day if I wanted to. Not every day, but when something happens, I'll let them know. But when you're told, hey, I dislike people, period, what do you do in that situation? My gut reaction says to not talk to that person because they don't want to talk to me. And if they do want to talk to me, they're going to message me first. And then that leads to months of not talking. In person, over text. I don't think I've seen this person in the last like 6 months. In person. That's not true. I lied. I saw them in school, but that was a better one. I haven't seen them since school, which is like, it really makes me feel like that entire friendship was so hollow, and I cared about it so much more than I should have. And I don't know, it's a shitty feeling. And, at the end of the day, I can't tell if I'm the shitter. Am I the problem? Because you never want to force relationships, but me not talking to this person indirectly ended it. The only reason I don't say directly is because, again, you don't need to talk to people to keep a relationship. I have another friendship that I also find to be super close. We've been super vulnerable with each other, and we still talk on and off. And he is genuine. I've known this dude since I was 12. Another long relationship, especially through my developmental years, and we have grown together as people. And I care about this person like a brother as well. And like, we don't talk often. We probably talk once a month. And yet every time we talk, it is a beautiful conversation of jokes, laughter, little bit of updates in life, maybe a bit of vulnerability if something's going on. And like, I have proof it works both ways. That friendships can work on and off and almost every day. And again, people are all different. So it makes me think, is this a third secret case? It's like, when it comes to friendships, I think it's pretty cookie cutter. And there's a couple of different molds, but that's about it. And it's hard to define what this mold, if there's even a mold for this, or I just fucked up a cookie. Right? It's like, this third case is, this person doesn't want to talk to me. Because they've told me themselves. Not directly me, but it's people in general. So what do? Do I just let the friendship die out? Because we don't talk, ever. Like, literally, I can remember... I can't, actually. Because I wanted to try to remember a conversation we had in the past, like, year. I genuinely can't think of one. That's really... I have actually never thought about that. I can't remember a single conversation I've had with this person for the past year. Because all of them have been in passing. Well, that's kind of sad. I never actually thought about it. I remember a lot of our conversations from our early times being friends, but I can't remember a single thing for the past year. I don't know, that's kind of sad. But yeah, it's like, from the outside, with no context of who this person is, I feel like a lot of people would say, well, yeah, you guys aren't friends. But my counterpoint is, you don't have the context, right? But how much context can actually save a situation like this? Like, how much can actually say, yeah, this makes sense because of the context, or despite the context, it's still bad. But yeah, I don't know. Just that's where I'm at, and it's like, what do I do with it? And it's like, my life so far in the past couple months, I have a busy past couple months that have been really important to me and really special. And it doesn't involve these people. My friend group, I talked to 2 people in my friend group out of like 6 to 8 people. The fact that I can't remember how many people are in this friend group like, I don't know. It's really weird. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. A little bit of a lot of parasocial actually, but more just a general problem or thing to talk about with one specific example. But yeah, that's where I'm at in life. For some good things that I can sum up very quickly. Like getting a job has been so nice, and it's such a good first job. I think it was so important that I got this job first over any other job. Well, obviously, it'd be good to have a high paying job like fucking being a YouTuber or some bullshit where I just upload dog shit or live stream nothing burger and get views and get a ton of money. But in terms of like actual jobs in real life that don't involve streaming or anything like with the internet, it's been so good. I don't know. I've never felt happier in terms of like my actual life outside of relationships. In my actual life, my day to day, I've never felt happier. Um, Despite how angry I get, I think my body just, it's a weird thing. I have to get angry sometimes. So I'll throw that anger at the game. Because I'd rather not, of course, I'd rather not be angry at real people or people that I care about. And I never am, right? And no, I realize I'm a very angry person, but that doesn't dictate my life. It is an emotion that I feel sometimes, whatever this situation. But yeah, that's I've been really happy, and it makes me wonder if I need to try harder for these friendships or just give them up like I have been for the past couple months. I've really just not tried at all, and I don't know. I don't know how much I have to try until it becomes me forcing a friendship or relationship in something unnatural. And I think I think the main problem is me being scared. I'm very scared to cut off relationships I've put so much effort into, and so many vulnerable, important things happened that helped develop me as a person. And then for them, I feel like I've done nothing for. I've changed them in no way, and their words always seem hollow to me. I don't know. It's it's a weird thing. It really makes me think, and it makes me a little sad to think about, but it's nice to talk about because I don't really know who else I would say this to. But recording these videos every once in a while, it just feels like me updating my life. Because I hate writing. My handwriting is also really bad, so I don't really want to journal. But putting this video out there, maybe someone's going through the same thing. You know, that's my philosophy of making these videos. Instead of just journaling or talking to myself. I feel like I am talking to someone even though no one's responding. And if someone sees this video and relates, I'd love to discuss with someone. You know? But yeah. That's my update. Have a good day, y'all.